Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be painting a Great Bray Shaman for our Beast of Chaos army. So if you remember, for our Beast of Chaos army, we are going for like a orangey, bluey skin tone and stuff like that. So let's get cracking on it with our skin tone. And for this, it is orange. It's going to be interesting because this model is going to be mostly blue because of the cloak, but it'll be cool. I'll probably use a smaller brush because so we'll start with our Gryph-hound orange contrast paint. And I hope we're recording. I feel like we are, but yeah, we are. Okay, cool. So let's get our orange and just start getting our coverage. And we did do our pre-coloring with our grays and whites pre-shading. Slap shop shading, if you want to call it that. I don't know what you want to call it. There's one leg. Let's try to get in here. His chest area. His Great Bray chest. And then this is also fur. Okay, let's get the arm here. And we're not trying to, I think, is this a wrist guard maybe that he's got on there? Or is that fur? It looks like a wrist guard. I'm not trying to glob this on, I'm just trying to nicely put this on our model. Can't really see in some of these areas, so it's going to be a little weird. But we'll get his face. His little goat face. And then inside here, we'll leave that fur because how we have it, how we do it here is a little different. Okay, let me get his hand. I almost missed that. It's okay if we get the paint on that because it's going to be a real paint that we're going to use for that. The inside of the arm here. Okay, so that's our orange all done. I don't know why I didn't go all the way through here, because we're using paint for that, so it's okay. Okay. So now let's switch to the blue, which is this Talisar blue. It's nice, bright, vibrant blue. Give it a good shake. Switch to a bigger brush now, because we're not on the little guy anymore. And let's start. You know what? I think, really quick, I think that this is like his shoulder. This little spot here might be shoulder. So let's just get that. Yeah, I think so. Okay. Now we can go back to the blue. So let's get our blue and start. That probably might be orange too, just looking at it, but gee, it might not be. Let's cover it. When you get that into the nitty-gritty, it's not that big of a deal if you're wrong, because it is such a small portion here. Just being careful around the hair. Just bring in the blue through the whole thing here. Keep going. Try to keep it pretty evenly coated across the whole thing. I want to get the inside here. It's going to be a little more difficult, but please stand by. I'm just going to hold it by his little staff right now. And just kind of work it into those areas there. All the areas that you can see, because you want those to be. Hold on, I said that, kind of put it over here for a second to get that little area. But okay, and then this is a little loincloth. So I'm gonna get that. I'll switch to a smaller brush now. Oops. To get into those little nooks and crannies. So it's like up here. Little like straps on his shorts. I know they're not shorts, but. And then we just kind of turn that around there. And then we got to get the hood as well. You don't have to get all that, just some of it. And same thing for this side. It's definitely probably more vibrant than people expect a Beast of Chaos army to be. But I like it. Okay. So that's all the blue. How did I get blue on the skull there? Oh well. So now we're going to get the little cords here with the Gorgonta fur contrast paint. And it'll be all the strings and doodads. So let's go. It's all this stuff right here. This is the off brown that we're using. Just try not to get it all over the place here, but obviously I did a little bit. And we also want to get his little wrist guard here. There. And then there's like, this is kind of like a wristband kind of deal that he's got going on. So we'll paint that with this paint as well around his whole wrist. You can see like from here it's kind of not that different of a color, but we'll see. To get these little, it's okay if we have some of the paint on there because it'll kind of work for us hopefully when we add other paints to it. Okay. And I think that's it for contrast. So now we can move on to the real paint, which will start with the leather brown for like the wood. And the only real wood on this guy is the staff that he's got. So let's get that. Nice thin coat. Or as thin as we can make it. This looks like a metal joiner piece, so we'll just move on to the back side now. So make sure you're getting all the way around it. I think we're good. Okay. Now we will use our German camo beige World War II for our fur, like head mohawks and some of the nose. So this is all nice and covered. We can probably get his goatee as well, just to kind of get that. And we'll get his nose. Just rotate around here. We've got a lot of like little strands here and there. Like that. Then, oop, here we go. I'm gonna kind of just leave that like that. Now the horns, I'm not super ecstatic about how I've been doing them, but until I figure out a better way, this is kind of how we're gonna have to do it. And we've been using this whole red for the horns and hooves. It's a reddish brown that will hopefully darken and all that. Let's go through there. There. And the horns. Just make it nice and stable before we go in there and start painting. I'm excited to finish this army, like ready. This is gonna be my army for LVO. This is gonna be hopefully my main army. And hopefully I won't lose as much as I did last year or this year at LVO. Next year. It's all about trying to get better. You know, I don't play to win, I just play, but it's nice to win. To lose every single game is kind of a bummer. So let's go into our gunmetal for just that little top piece of the staff. Just this little bit right here. Doesn't look like he has got a lot of metal on him. Okay, now for the little, we get medium sea gray for like the little stitches in his cloak. I was gonna use the German camo beige, but I think that would be a wrong choice. Just because of the other colors that we're using, and I don't know, maybe this will provide more contrast to things. And black and gray is a good combo, that's too wet. We'll just start picking those out. And I think I've said this on before on my channel, like for my philosophy of armies and stuff like that, but like for every army I try to do something new and different than I have before. And for this one I'm kind of doing a lot of things. So for one, it's this slap choppy kind of undercoating. That I like. I'm liking it. It's just kind of like an experiment to see where we can get as a painter and how we can grow, is to constantly keep trying different things and stuff like that. So for this, it's the slap chop method kind of, and then plus, you know, some edge highlights and stuff like that with other colors to try to get a pretty decent tabletop looking army. Because like in the past, for sure, I would just ignore these little guys, these little stitches, but you know, I gotta build up that brush control and that confidence to try different things, because I don't want to get stale as a painter. You know, it's not going to be super duper clean like some people's armies are and their paint jobs are, but it'll be something that you can look at and be proud of. That's like another thing of this hobby that I like, is that, you know, at the end of the day, you have something to show for it. You have a bunch of painted models. I'll get you another band's hot in here. You have something physical to show for all your work, versus like, you know, just laying on the couch and watching TV, which don't get me wrong, I do also, but you know, it's a nice little achievement piece to be like, oh yeah, I did that, I painted all that. It's getting a little dry here. I'm just trying to lightly go over the top of these and just touch them. Oop. Here we go. And can also, okay, that's fine. Now we will take our skeleton horde contrast paint and go over, actually we won't, we'll kind of keep them white. I was gonna say we'll go over that, but I think we're gonna go over it with a wash instead. So let's take our Agrax Earthshade wash, and we're gonna go over the hair and the skulls and maybe some other places, we'll see, hold on. So let's get these like skeletons that are in here. Look at these guys. The thing is, it's not really showing as brown, it's just kind of black. But I'm like, this is Agrax Earthshade, right? It's like the new formula that they use. I'll get the metallics here too. Actually, no, I won't. Wipe it off your finger. they're a little bit glossy for me. I don't know. I don't know if I like the new Agrax Earth Shades, because it used to be a lot better, in my opinion. And we'll just take this and go into the fur. Then we have to give him his glorious mane. We'll get the beard as well as the nose a bit. Okay. Now we will take the black wash, the gnome oil, and go over the horns and the wood, the hooves here. The metal. Good. And then let it sit for a second while we figure out our next step, because it's been a while since I painted this guy. I'm thinking we did. No. Okay. I think what we did is here. We're going to take our orange fire and go over the skin now. Also, hold on. Stand by. I think that this wristband, although it is like a bracer that has been kind of woven together, I think having it that color will help better, because it's too close, too similar. Let's get our fire orange going here and just kind of pick out some highlight areas for ourselves. Just to help brighten up this model a bit more. The knee here. There's some fur in here that we can lightly go over. Oop, same thing here, some fur that we can kind of lightly go over there. Just brighten him up a little bit. Just kind of defining those muscles, those big surfaces that are catching the light a lot more. God, I hate orange paint. Get in there, and then for the face, we're gonna try really hard here to just get those super high points and the details there. For the ears, just try to get the tops of the ears. Same thing on this side, his ears kind of buried a little bit in here. We can still get it though. And just kind of get the top there. And then even the chest a little bit, we could probably add a little bit too, like just some little surfaces in there. And then lastly, I guess some blue. We'll probably take like a Prussian blue and just do the same for the blue bit. Not this color, this color's not good. Let's get this one, let's get gray blue. It's more of a, it's a lighter blue. And we're just gonna do a little bit here with this. Gonna take it and just kind of get some edges here and there. Like, don't go full on with the edge highlights, just kind of giving the impression of them here and there. Let's kind of separate this from his face more. Add some more definition in there. Just kind of getting get some of these edges. You don't have to get all of them, just kind of pick a couple. And then get one. More edge here. And then we have just this guy in here too. Just give it a little bit more pop. And there you have it. We have our Great Bray Shaman for our Visa Chaos army. This guy's a little bit simpler. It's a pretty small model. But as always, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. and we will catch you guys on the next one.